Hey boys and girls, welcome to the reading station with Ms. Dahlia, and today we're going to read the story, The Elves and the Shoemaker. It's a classic fairy tale, and this one is from Usborne Publishing, and it's illustrated by John Joven. So let's take a look and see if you like it. The Elves and the Shoemaker, illustrated by John Joven, retold by Rob Lloyd-Jones. Once there was a famous shoemaker. Lords and ladies loved his beautiful boots, and even kings wore his slippers. But now the shoemaker was old. He had aches and pains from sewing and stitching. No one wanted to buy his shoes or boots anymore. All day long, his shop sat silent and empty. The shoemaker stared at his last piece of leather and sighed. "After this, I don't know what we'll do." "Let's worry about it in the morning," his wife said as she led him away with a hug. But morning came with a big surprise. There on the workbench sat a fantastic pair of brand new shoes. Everyone admired the shoes in the window. They were sleek and shiny and perfectly stitched. "What fine footwear!" The shoemaker sold them the moment he opened his shop. The next morning came with an even bigger surprise. 2 pairs of boots stood on the shoemaker's bench. And what incredible boots they were, with twirly patterns and golden toes. The shoemaker sold them in seconds. "Oh my," said a customer. "Never have I seen such elegant boots." "Heavens," gasped another. "Just look at those laces and handsome high heels." The strange shoe magic continued for weeks. Every morning, when the shoemaker woke, there on his workbench were more fabulous shoes. Each day, they were finer than the last. They had shiny buckles, twirly ribbons, and pretty bows tied in leather and lace. Word spread, the shoemaker is back to his best. People came from far and wide to buy his splendid shoes. But the shoemaker felt strange about his change of fortune. He knew that his shoes were not really his shoes at all. "Let's hide in the workshop tonight," he said to his wife. "We'll see who is making all these wonderful new shoes." That night, the shoe shop door opened with a quiet creak. 2 shadows flitted through the silvery moonlight, and soft feet padded across the floor. 2 tiny creatures in raggedy clothes sprang onto the workbench. They were giggling and grinning and dancing and singing. "Elves!" thought the shoemaker. Smiling and singing, the elves set to work, hammering heels, stitching leather, and making fluffy pom-poms. By the first light of the morning, the latest pair of shoes was finished, and the cheery little elves scampered away. The shoemaker gasped, and his wife clasped her hands. "What magical creatures!" she cried. "We must repay their kindness," the shoemaker said. "But what can I make for an elf?" For the first time in weeks, the shoemaker sat at his workbench, cutting and stitching leather and cloth. He worked and worked as day became night. His candle burned down and his eyes ached in its flickering light. Finally, he was finished. he left what he had made for the elves to find. "Those creatures have given us so many wonderful surprises," he told his wife. "Tonight they'll have a surprise of their own." The elves squealed with joy when they saw the shoemaker's gift.
"What stunning new suits!"
they said in delight.
"Such terrific top hats and tails!"
The elves danced all around the workbench, gleefully singing about their magnificent suits.
What happy little elves are no longer workmen shall we be? We look so fine in our new suits, no longer shall we stitch new boots.
The shoemaker and his wife watched the happy elves skip off into the night. Thanks to the kind little creatures, they could live comfortably for the rest of their lives. The shoemaker never made another pair of shoes, but whenever he thought of the elves, he smiled. He hoped they were still singing and dancing somewhere in their fine hand-stitched suits. The end. Well, guys, I hope you liked it, and until the next time here at the Reading Station, see you real soon. Bye-bye.